Hello, and welcome to Havoc Wargaming, dedicated to bringing you the uncommon. For those of you who haven't met me, my name is Ron, and today we're going to do a after-action report of the Williamsburg Muster Gaming Convention. So let's get started. It's the nature of this particular time of year, which in the United States is President's Day weekend, that I end up being very busy. Part of that's because of what I do for a living, which ends up causing me to have to work overtime hours and both at night and on the weekend. And also because it has, these last several years, been the same weekend as Williamsburg Muster. Williamsburg Muster is a local small convention here in the city of Williamsburg. I've been participating in it since it first began back in 2008. I wonder, do you have a local convention in your neighborhood, either a game day, a convention, a show? If so, please tell me and share those with me in the comment section down below. The local convention, as I say, it's mostly a historic military wargaming convention. It is run by an organization called ODMS, Old Dominion Military Society. They've been running this one since 2008. They expanded for a while to having 3 conventions in a year. They've sort of backed down to 1.5. They still run Williamsburg Muster every President's Day weekend in February, and they help support one of their former conventions, which is now being run by a military museum down in Newport News. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go to the Wargaming Convention. Today it is Friday, right before the President's Day weekend, and I'm standing outside Clairton, Williamsburg. This is in Williamsburg, Virginia, and we're here at Williamsburg Muster. This is a local convention. This is something new I'm going to try today, is do a little rundown on this little local convention that I've been participant in for several years now. Most of them have all been here at what is now the Clarion Hotel. Clarion Hotel is located in Williamsburg, Virginia, the second capital of colonial Virginia, and it is located here on the street that you see right here behind me. This is Highway 60, Virginia's Highway 60. It mostly follows the original route of what was called, and in fact right here it is still called, the Richmond Road. Richmond Road ran from colonial Williamsburg, which is down that way, 6 or 7 miles, and then all the way up this way to the third capital and at the present state capital of Virginia, which is Richmond. And that's about 40 miles from where we're standing right now. This road is going to play an important role in a number of historical events. It is in fact part of the Washington-Rochambeau route, part of the route that was used by General Washington and General Rochambeau when they marched from New Windsor, New York, and from Rhode Island to the town of Yorktown. Here just about 11 or 12 miles that way, for a matter of some little significance during the American Revolution. It was also the area used for Peninsula Campaign. There was in fact on May 5th a battle fought here in the city of Williamsburg, just below our downtown area, the Battle of Williamsburg, and this route was then used as they marched trying to make it to Richmond. My small local wargaming club meets in the city of Williamsburg, just a few miles down the street from where the convention was held, and we usually meet on Thursday nights. And as one of our members is a vendor at the program, we decided to meet at the convention pre-conference, or pre-convention. So here's a game of Chain of Command that 2 of us put together for 4 of us to play. I was going to present a video, and right now, in fact, on the video I'm pointing out where the patrol markers are for the beginning of the game, but I have no audio. So I thought I would show you, though, what we did at the convention before the game began. This is a table that 2 of us set up, mostly my stuff and my friend Dave Wilson. In fact, that was a quick shot of Dave Wilson just there. This convention started back in 2008. It has continued every year since that, except for last year where it was forced to close because of COVID. Right now it's still Friday morning, or Friday about 1 o'clock, I think. Usually we wouldn't have anywhere near this sort of crowd on a Friday. This is more like a Saturday crowd, and not the empty gaming tables, but the number of people that are in here. I suspect that is in some way connected to COVID and finally having our local conference return. I hope I'm wrong in that. I hope it's an example of the success that's going on here. Probably the best known vendors who are here, as you can probably see all the way down there at the end, there's ODGW. Right next to them is Age of Glory. Over here is Phalanx Consortium and my friends with Phalanx. And we're going to go and take a look at some of the games that are already set up for today. All right, here we have a Dux Britannium game going on, or is it Bellorum? I can't remember now. I should know I have these rolls. This is a Dark Ages set by Osprey Games. It's sort of similar to the rules they use for Rampant Lion and things, but it's a much larger scale game than those lines are. So this is advertised and pushed mostly as a historic wargaming convention, but as you'll see, right here we're looking at a race game. This is a game that, in fact, this is being run by my friend John Dent, a member of my club, and it's sort of out of print. The creator of the game still has some. You can get some directly from him, but it's a game called Stock Car Championship Racing. This is really a lot of fun. It looks kind of simplistic because, as you see, the track, it looks like a drag strip. It doesn't look like an oval. But it's mostly about the strategies and tactics of dealing with the cars around you in a stock car race. John is running it today with 1/24th stock cars. I run it with 1/64th, which it was kind of designed for. It comes with cars. You can actually use it without toy cars at all, but most of us kind of like to use the toy cars. But my point was this convention, while mostly historic, it does have a few. There's a Horace tournament going on. There is, Horus Heresy, last night alongside of our Chain of Command game, there was Battletech. There was a Battletech game going on next to us. There's a seller that sells a lot of classic Battletech here, so there's some of that too. In fact, another example of that is right over here. Another just really enjoyable game, printed originally by Osprey, is Gaslands. When this game first came out, I thought, what was the purpose of it? I was a huge fan of Car Wars. If you haven't tried Gaslands, they sort of outdid Car Wars. It's a much better. I haven't played the new edition of Car Wars, but of the traditional Car Wars, this game is. It looks simpler, but it's actually easier to play, easier to run, and it is really a whole lot of fun. It's really worth giving it a try if you haven't done so already. Oh, I should probably add, after having just talked about the 1/64 cars for the stock car racing game, that's another one of the brilliant things about this game. We did the same thing in the decades ago with Car Wars, but Car Wars was mostly played with little chits and tokens. But as you'll see, this game usually uses 1/64th Matchbox Hot Wheels cars, and in fact, on the Facebook page for Gaslands, it was funny. Many of us were sure that we were increasing the sales, and some of our local stores no longer had much in the way of their collection for Matchbox cars. All right, right here we have an Operation Nighthawk game set up for, again, tomorrow. This is Friday. This is going to be using Bolt Action version 2, a modification of it. And Bolt Action is represented very highly, always is here at Williamsburg Muster. In fact, there's a tournament going for the game later. Very nice table. Looks like mostly Sarissa buildings. Let me see if I can get a close-up of these ruined streetscape over here. So a very nice looking table as well, which of course always just makes it a little bit more enjoyable to play the game. So here's an interesting variation of a game being played. It looks like it's Mind Zombie, which is normally a World War II, strange World War II zombie game, but it's being used, as you may be able to tell, for the Revolutionary War. There is an absolutely beautiful fort on the far side of the table, which I'm going to have to find out where that comes from. Oh, and I have that bear. I have that bear for Zona Alpha. Again, as I mentioned, mostly historic games, but there's always a few sort of fringe historic games going on, or modifications of them, and a little bit more opening for fantasy games and science fiction games. Some of you might be offended by that. I personally am not. In reality, most of the gaming we do is in its fashion fantasy. I mean, if you're playing Normandy and the Germans can win, you're playing alternative history. Also, I believe that we shouldn't be keeping people from entering our hobby. And I think when you turn away the fantasy gamers and science fiction gamers because you view them as being somehow inferior, you're just acting as what the kids now call gatekeepers, and you're reducing and helping lead to the end of our hobby as we know it. You know, most people my generation got involved in wargaming starting with toy soldiers like the 54 millimeter guys we saw on the far side, or with Airfix figures. But the new generation usually gets involved in the game world by starting with Warhammer 40K or fantasy. And to turn those people away or to not invite them in is in the end not helpful. Here's an interesting looking Alamo game set up. Thought I would share that with you guys on a pretty big table here. Hey, look who it is. How are you guys?
Just had a beer.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I didn't know you guys were going to head out there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just to hang out, man. But Dave and I hung out, that's okay.
Yeah, another World War II game. Some really nice buildings here. I particularly like the advertisement just there on the side of that structure. Nice looking farm there on the end of the table as well. Just there. So these next few pictures are a montage taken from the Facebook page. I don't have the rights to any of these pictures, but I wanted to give a general idea of the sort of games that were available. There were also a number of tournaments. There was a bolt action tournament shown here, and also a Warhammer 40K tournament. So tournaments were available as well, and fun was had by all. And that was my experiences at the Williamsburg Muster. I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly had a really good time at this local convention. The energy level was much higher than it's been in the past. There was a great deal of activity. That was the most attendees they have had in the history of this event. Friday, which is usually a very slow day, was just completely booming and very, very exciting. There were a lot of beautiful games there, a lot of activity. You may have noticed in some of the videos there was also an increased number of female wargamers and children wargamers, and that's always a good thing to see new people coming into the hobby and to stop it just being a bunch of old white men like myself. That was enjoyable. That's a good feature as well. If you have local conventions in your area, I would hope that you do your best to support them, to try to keep them going, to help keep our hobby alive and vibrant. If you happen to be in the Williamsburg, Virginia area next February, I hope that you'll think to come by and attend Williamsburg Muster. If you have local conventions you'd like to talk about, I hope you include those in the comment section down below. If you've enjoyed this video and you found it all useful, I hope that you will hit like. And if you'd like to continue to receive further notifications for videos like this one, or others that may help you better determine how to spend your tabletop wargaming money or time, then I hope you will hit subscribe and ring our notification bell. Till next time, cheers.